Welcome back to the channel where we're doing a ton of rankings and tier lists and all kinds of stuff. If you have any ideas for future tier lists, let me know in the comments below. Today we're talking about the Scream series, my favorite all-time horror series ever, and we're going to be ranking the killers in that series. Ghostface kind of changes identities as the movies go along, and some of them are better than others. I will be spoiling each movie, but I'll make sure to let you know as we're moving into those next movies, including Scream 6 that just came out this weekend. Let's get going. Now for Scream 1, we start off with Billy Loomis. He was the boyfriend of Sidney Prescott, the main character of the series, and the reveal is great. He is trying to get revenge for Billy's mom leaving because Sidney's mom slept with his dad. It's all very understandable, right? You can get it. You understand the reasoning behind it. It's not too crazy, right? He fakes his death right before it happens. You aren't 100% sure if it's going to be him or not. And he's super brutal and wants to pin it all on Sidney's dad. And I think it's really good. I think there's a reason that the series goes on as far as it does. And it really kind of almost all goes back to Billy being as good as he is as that killer. And so I'm going to be putting him in S tier. For his accomplice, Stu Macher, I was really tempted to put him into that S tier, but he is very obviously the one who's kind of just following along and being manipulated. And whenever the killer is being manipulated in some way, it's going to make me not think they're quite as good. I love Stu. I think that he's very funny. He gets a TV dropped on his head. That's how he dies and everything. He's just clearly deranged. And it just very fun to watch. But yeah, A tier is definitely nothing to be upset about. So that's where he's going to be. Now we move into Scream 2. Scream 2, we get the continuation of this story from the first movie with actually Billy's mom coming in, Mrs. Loomis, Nancy Loomis. And she is trying to get revenge for her son being killed, right? Makes complete sense, again, story-wise, as to why this is happening. It is a bit out of left field when she comes in as the killer at the end, right? Because she hasn't been recognized by anybody. Nobody who knew her before has really seen her or anything. And she's been posing as this reporter who really likes Gail and aspires to be her and everything. But she comes in with good motivation. The finale in Scream 2 is okay. But it's not nearly as good as Scream 1's. So I'm going to be putting Mrs. Loomis in B tier. The second killer in the Scream sequel is Mickey, a film student who really wants to kind of, gain infamy by repeating the acts that have happened in the first Scream, right? Want to blame it on the movies, wants to go to trial and just become famous for all of this. Mrs. Loomis found him online, right, in a message board. And because of that, he is being manipulated, right? So it's going to knock him down a little bit. And we're going to have to knock him down just a little bit more, even to that C tier, just because she kills him, right? Or she tries to kill him. She shoots him. She was just planning on pegging it all on him. And so, yeah, he definitely got taken for a ride by the sister from Roseanne. But he does have one of my favorite line deliveries in the entire series when he's all like, "Billy's mother." Chef's kiss. That brings us into Scream 3. And in Scream 3, Roman, he's the only killer. This is the only movie where there's only one. And he's using this voice changer that he can sound like anybody, which is kind of cheap. I'm not a big fan of that. It kind of takes away some of the, trying to be able to solve it as you're going through. There's no way to solve this, right? To know who it is as you're going in. And that's kind of something that will kind of continue on in the series. But anyway, he is actually Sidney's secret brother that she didn't know about. Her mom had him while she was living in Hollywood and trying to become, a famous actress and everything. It didn't work out, so she left, but she ended up having this kid. And she kind of completely just blew him off when he came and tried to become a part of her life again. And then they kind of retroactively make him the mastermind of Scream 1, which is never good, never fun, right? This kind of knocks down those earlier movies. And he's wearing a bulletproof vest, so he's getting shot like crazy and not dying. But it's just one of those things that he takes the mask off, and unless you're really paying attention, you're like, oh, him. Oh, cool, I guess. Roman just really doesn't hit for me. I think he's an F tier. I think he's bad. That then brings us to Scream 4, the first one that I was able to see in the theaters. We get a great reveal with our first killer, with being Jill Roberts, Sydney's cousin. She's easily an S tier. She is completely motivated and ready to just do whatever it takes to get her 15 minutes of fame. She's trying to, be the sole survivor. She's trying to frame it all on the other Ghostface killer, which we'll talk about in a second. And in doing that, she shows crazy dedication. She's like beating herself up, throwing herself through tables and everything. It takes a defibrillator to the head to put her down at the end. So yeah, I think she's pretty great. And sadly, she hasn't been topped since she's shown up. So I'm gonna put her up in that S tier. The second killer in Scream 4 is Charlie, and he is kind of in love with Jill. He thinks that they're gonna be able to go off together and both be those survivors. But just like Mickey before, right? She's playing him. He's not getting to go off and be a part of anything special. He's gonna die, and it's gonna get blamed on him. And so he is, gonna get put down pretty low. I think I'm gonna put Charlie in D tier. He also is just not my favorite character outside of everything else that's going on, and so he's easily down there in D tier. Sorry, Charlie. And now we're to the movie that came out last year, Scream 2022, or Scream 5. And this one has two killers again. First up is Richie. I liked him as like the nice character, right? As if he would have turned out not being the Ghostface killer, I would have been pretty excited about his character. He's like a dimwit and just not being able to keep up with everybody and just kind of stumbling around. Like some pretty good Dewey, parallels there. But he ends up being bad and just kind of crazy, and it's all about the movies, and he's just like, man, Hollywood stinks. They're making bad sequels, so we're going to give them new material to go off of, because the first stabs were based on true stories. And so they're trying to kill Sam, the main character of these new movies, who is Billy's daughter. Like he's obviously good at running around and killing people, but when it comes to the fight itself, he just gets destroyed, and he's just whining and just groveling for his life at the end. It doesn't make him a very, endearing villain to me. Just not liking him very, very much. I'm put him in C tier. The second killer for Scream 5 is Amber, the best friend character for one of the sisters, Tara. And I actually like Amber as the killer. I don't like her. This actress, she's really good at playing this creepy kind of, just bad person, right? She's also kind of like that in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And similar things happen to her at the end of that movie too. She gets the big reveal, right? The good reveal at the end of Scream 5, where she introduces us to the third act and everything. I think that really hits hard and is a lot of fun. It's pretty obvious that she's one of the killers. It's one oh, you call that from the beginning. But I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. I think that if you call it from the beginning, that means it makes sense, and they aren't necessarily just trying to surprise you. So that can be good too. So yeah, I like her. I think that she's effective. She does Dewey in, so it makes me not like her, but it makes her effective as a Ghostface. So I'm gonna put her in A tier. And now we are at Scream 6. So here are the big spoiler warning. I'm going to just talk about Scream 6 here and just kind of ruin that movie for you. So there are technically 3 Ghostface killers, and then there's a fake Ghostface killer. But we're going to talk about all of them. So we're going to start off first off with Jason Carvey, played by the guy who's Flash Thompson in the new Spider-Man movies, right? He kills his film professor, and then he gets murdered by the real Ghostface. And I think that I'm gonna put him in D tier, because he's just a fake, right? He does get somebody at least. I don't think that first kill, I keep hearing people saying that first kill is super effective and really, and I'm just like, man, that lady is not acting smart at all. In the earlier Scream movies, you'd be like, man, the main characters are trying to at least do things that kind of make sense. But she's walking down alleyways in the middle of New York City in the middle of the night. Even if it wasn't Ghostface, somebody's going to murder her, right? So I don't know. But I don't want to put him all the way down into the F tier. His motivations make sense. They want to, get the Sam and Tara and just kind of finish off Richie's work and everything. But they get killed before they get a chance to do that. Him and his buddy, who we don't ever see, Greg. And so, yeah, so he's in D tier. Now we're at the end of Scream 6. And there's the big reveal. What's this? 3 Ghostface killers. Oh my gosh. Oh, and look at this. It's Wayne Bailey, Quinn Bailey, and Ethan Landry. Oh my gosh. The nerdy guy, the girl we thought was dead, and the cop. What in the world could they be wanting to, be going against our heroes for? Oh, they're all Richie's family. And spoilers as to how I feel about this. They're awful. I do not like the end of Scream 6 at all. I understand that they're getting revenge in a very similar way to like what Mrs. Loomis did, but she had ties right in there emotionally to like Sydney and to the things that were going on before the killings even started. Here it's just kind of like, oh man, my brother, my son, he was a killer, and then you killed him. You did this to him. And I'm just like, you guys have murdered like so many people to just get back at this person. Like, I understand that they're supposed to be crazy, but they're all crazy. Everybody in the family is crazy. Like, that's just almost feels like what the Scream movies are about at this point. It's just like, it's all the families of these people are just wackos. I'm going to put them all in F tier. I'm going to put all 3 of them in F tier. Mainly because we'll just say that like Wayne goes way over the top. And I understand that, sure, you could say that about Stu and Amber too, but their characters, like, it makes sense. Like, they were already kind of over the top. His character just changes so much from where he was before that I don't know. And he just seems pathetic and weird, not like scary. Like, he's just running around with just like in dad clothes, like the whole time at the end. Like, he doesn't even have like the cloak on or anything. So I don't know. And he's not doing it for me. Quinn, his daughter, right? She takes a brick to the face, which I did appreciate that. So that was pretty good. But she kept going too, which I was like, dang, man. But again, though, it's just like, she's like, you surprised to see me? And we're like, yes, we're surprised to see you because we thought you were dead. Like, of course we're surprised to see you. I don't know. But then really, like, for me, and I think he kind of drags everybody else down, is the Ethan character, the brother. Man, like, for starters, in the rest of the movie, he doesn't really do anything. He only shows up to be like, oh, I'm a virgin. And then also be like, it wasn't me. How could it be me? And then it is him. And so it's like, whatever, man. But then once he takes off the mask, he's like completely deranged, like, and just like giggling and crazy. And it just doesn't work for me. It does not work for me. I actually also want to kind of retroactively move Roman out of F tier and we'll put him in D tier just because I don't want him to be down there with those people. They're not bad enough where I want to put him in the super F, right? They're not going down there with Coleman Trevor, but I did not enjoy them as the killers at all. The rest of the movie before that reveal, pretty awesome. Really did like some of the scenes, especially that convenience store one. So yeah, what do you think about the Ghostface killers? Do you have a favorite? Do you have a least favorite? What do you think about the new Scream? I know seem to be in the minority on this. I'm glad people like it, right? It doesn't hurt the old movies, so whatever. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And I hope to see you next time when we do some more rankings. See ya.